Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. This is continuing our live stream recap for our 500th episode special, where this time we will be rejoining the crew of the Artemis as they are making their way back from Mars, and will make, hopefully, a successful recovery, or a successful capture into Earth orbit, and then a successful splashdown where no one dies, at least that's the plan. Anyway, so I will turn you now over to old me live during the broadcast. All right, let's just verify our crew is okay. We can probably transfer our external pods, but it's going to take a little while to do that. So we're just going to take a quick look out here at the map view. And yeah, see our encounter in 47 days. And the last 2 months of their trip. What are they passing? I mean, no, they were nowhere near, but it looked like they were all kind of grouped around hanging out and stuff. Alright, what are we doing here, Kerbal Alarm Clock? Yeah, I don't care. Obviously. Okay. I don't care. I'm happy that that vessel is complete. Truly I am, but I've got other things to attend to right now. I should be checking my approach angle. Focus. Oh yeah, because that's the thing. Yeah, it's fine. That's totally fine. We're going to leave it there so that the things we get rid of will splash down at the very least. No, back to map view. We'll correct that once we're in Earth SOI. That's the best place to do these things. Oh, this is... I really hope they don't burn up and die. "20 hours, really? That's all?" Oh boy. And how much of a correction do we need to pull this off? 307, that's too much of a correction. But that's 2 whole meters per second. At least he doesn't do the probing McProbe face mid-course correction episode 228 thing now. Well, maybe. Update you need to add to the tree. Something that's in Sandbox doesn't seem to have a tech tree entry at all, and there's a node you haven't unlocked research yet. Oh, interesting. Yes, please do add that. Pose for shuttle LRB. Tricky, those boosters would be longer than the external tank. Are we in Earth SOI? Not quite. Let's... Oh yeah, we have our alarm coming up in 30 minutes. Autonomous suicide burns? I mean, in this save, no. I think... Well, I mean, maybe Mech Jeb has a suicide burn calculator, but it has always been very, very wrong for me. Alright. So we're going to move a few things around. Make some corrective adjustments. Actually, I should do this one first, because that's where we need all the goodies to be. We did not use nearly as much life support thingies as I thought we would. In. KOS. Yeah, KOS could do it. I just couldn't do KOS. Hey, yep, you already know who to ask for help there. So no need for me to intervene. Oh, that's all full. We can probably open these up. Not the fuel. We'll need that for later. In. Everybody can KOS. I beg to disagree. KRPCs for programming nerds too. Indeed. Alright, and let's see if we can take out some thrusters. Space junk. Hopefully it'll all splash down into the ocean and be harmless and fun. Although I was anticipating having to jettison these a whole lot earlier for a mid-course correction versus when we're pretty much home. So we're actually going to make sure our crew can all get back in. I would say nobody should actually be in any of these pods, but we do want to check. Crew hatch empty, crew hatch empty, crew hatch empty. Fantastic. And that never had anything. That should be empty. Empty. All kinds of neat stuff. Jeez, guys, what are we doing here? Yep. Topped off and full. Holy crap. And we've got a good bit of fuel left, too. That's also excellent news. All these are topped. I checked that already. We've got no fuel in here. No fuel. Yeah, there should be no fuel in any of these, because that's not anything we need to actually worry about. Okay. RCS to arm. Let's give ourselves a positive periapsis, shall we? We'll just bump it up a little bit. There we go. RCS disarm. I know, we're still negative 2 kilometers. But that's because we want to get rid of the hab. But we don't want to get rid of the hab until much, much later. Out here is where we're going to make our serious correction. Yeah, 5 meters per second brings us well outside the atmosphere. What does it take to capture? Is what I want to know. I mean, yes, this is too high. We will be much lower than this, but I want to know what our delta V is going to look like. Come on. Really? That's it? An extra kilometer per second puts us in a very elliptical orbit, so we can probably do this in a single pass. Alright, 2 days. Y'all take a quick save. And then welcome home from Mars. I can't wait to see how ranked up Nina and Bowman are from both having been to Mars and Phobos. Nope, that's Mars. So Earth is... There she is. Oh, that's a sight for sore eyes. Hey, and there's the moon. Hi, moon. Not screwing up our telemetry this time. Alright, we're a few hours early, but let's go ahead and RCS to arm. Come on. RCS to arm. Thank you. We're actually going to do this the opposite of ways. After playing Ava Sims for 20 years, I don't trust those sneaky robots. What I want to do with your propulsive landing first stage, launch it with a ballast and assume that it's launching with some paying customer satellite. Not essential for your agency. Land successfully 2 or 3 times. I'll stop bothering landing manually. Assume that it lands in the background when you're focused on the upper stage. Say that, yeah, that's what stage recovery is really good for, is it just it lets you assume. And I guess if you can prove it, and were I to do it, I would prove it on footage. 1,500 science points for this node. Well, that's perfect. I happen to have about double that sitting in the coffers right now. Landing should be easier than their Mars landing. We can't. Don't jinx it, Pulsified. Alright, first things first is we need to adjust in, make our periapsis negative, because I am not going to go back and delete this stupid habitat many years later, discovering it's still in orbit. Undock, and then we will pull ourselves gracefully away, making our periapsis much higher than this. I think we're going to shoot for between 50 and 60 kilometer. I think you might benefit from the second stage recovery. Don't want to add stage recovery or flight manager or reusable stages. Is it stage manager for reusable flights? I honestly, I do not know. Alright, considering our current speed, 4 point something kilometer, our ending speed's going to be right around 10:55. Seems like a good single pass at altitude. RCS to disarm. Yeah, and this is all electric charge, and it was lithium hydroxide, not so much anymore. We'll press food, water, and oxygen into the cabin later, just in case we do have to make a second pass. Stage recovery forgives you a lot, like placing just a couple of chutes will make a landing. There's no guarantee I actually survive the real flight. That's true. Which is why I think if I were to use it, especially in a career mode save like this, I would have to demonstrate that it actually works at least once or twice before just assuming with stage recovery is giving me all my money back. But I expect zero accountability from any of you for anything similar. Good luck. Have fun trying to land your first stage consistently in realism overhaul. It kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. Limited ignitions is a terrible thing, which is why I have an entirely new appreciation for the magic that is SpaceX. Basila, welcome. How's it going? Glad you could make it. We want to see you suffer. That's why I'm here. It's to be a, if not a shining example, then a terrible warning. KOS to the rescue. KOS rescues from everything. Where did I put that node? At periapsis? Yeah, 12 minutes. Okay, RCS to arm. Let's get ourselves angled appropriately. Get our resources transferred appropriately. Oh man, hold the phone. That needs to be a thing. Sometimes it just surprises you. Alright, continuing on. Oh, wow, okay. Arm parachutes. That would be a good step, chat. Thank you for reminding me. Arm parachutes. That should be all of them. Alright. I think we're actually fairly good on fuel. So let's just get ourselves angled to actual radial. KOS equals Notepad++ simulator. that may be true. So unfolded payload fairings to form a shuttlecock. You're gonna badminton your rackets? Litho breaking is more funner. Oh boy. Alright. Decouple. Switch vessels. Back it up. Insufficient avionics. Oh yeah, we can't I can't do much really other than try to get us clear, although we went from having 500 meters per second to having 700 meters per second. Alright, and switch back. We're not going to deal with that, but it is well clear of us. So now we can unlock our descent fuel. Where are you going, homie? No one told you to do any of this. Retrograde, if you please. And thank you. Enable RCS ports. Nope, roll the other way, please. You know how the only one side of the shuttlecock ever faces is prograde. Ah. Build an SSTO. You won't have to bother with stage recovery. Oh, you have to land the SSTO. And I will tell you that is exactly 0 fun points. It's doing a little dance. It's happy to be home. I would be too. It's just these last couple of hours crammed in this tiny space after being in many years and also tiny space. Don't forget the quick save. Oh, I drank most of that whiskey already. That makes me sad, but the rest of the stream is going to be a little interesting. I hope I don't have to do anything responsible. Alright. Clouds being weird. Thunk, there's Atmo. Alright, y'all. 11.7 kilometers per second. Oh, I have gravely underestimated how fast we are going to be. Braking thrust. I'm just glad this isn't a load-a-sode. I might be loaded. Many years in those damn inflatable bubbles. At least you know the people you're with very, very well. Oh, dang it. Sorry, we missed all of our service module destruction. It was a good service module. Reentry-a-sode. Status report, we're fucking smashed. Need to slow down. Flame-a-sode. Atmospheric encounters-a-sode. IVA time. 11.4 kilometers per second current speed. Oh, here comes the fire and the fury. I don't know if I want to do this from in here. Is that a docking camera? I mean, I guess it could be where there are not things in the way. Woo! Toasty. No, that's not what I want. That's what I want. Let's monitor our amount of ablator and our G-loading. Hey, look at that. There's capture. Yes! We are not going to be ejected into deep space. EVA, go, go, go. No! Oh god, IVA missions. No. I hope I won't have to do anything responsible. Lance crew from Mars. Well, I mean, this is very passively responsible. We're on our way back up. So, this turned into a double pass. Current speed 9.7. Yeah, you know what? Let's roll. Speaking of not being responsible, let's see if we can't do this in a single pass. I would prefer to do this in a single pass. We're already too high. It's not going to matter. Scott Manley maneuver. What, the get out and push? We're not. We don't have to get out and push. We have thrusters. Yeah, I think we're definitely taking a lap. You know, it's not a bad lap, though, and honestly, the first crew that came back from Mars had to take a lap also. Had I been paying attention and done this roll sooner, like, when Lipo suggested it to me. Was that Lipo? No. Yes, it was. Rotate and gain more time in the atmosphere. Sorry. Little blurry here. You gotta sleep now. Take care. See you tomorrow. All right, Luca, thank you so much for hanging out. If you're streaming tomorrow, I will be watching. I suggest everyone else do the same, just so you know, especially if you like KOS and learning how to KOS. Have a good evening. Didn't they take 3? Also be right back. What do you mean take 3? 3 what? There's 3 Kerbals here, and yes. Here's the sound of my kids saying, I saw the fire. Are we there yet? But we were on fire. What do you mean we're not home? Yeah, I don't think they're coming down this pass. Obviously, they're not coming down this pass. Oh, I meant 3 skips. Did they take 3 skips? It's used to sound of Catherine jumping while it's going 11 kilometers per second. What are you talking about, Luca? I will not have this blasphemy here. Blasphemy, I say. Luca's streams are excellent for learning KOS. I don't care what she has to say about it. I don't think she's the authority on learning KOS anymore. I mean, I would be, except I still don't know very much about KOS. I know a bit. I don't want to be in physics warp. I want to be in regular warp. Oy vey. Got to be right back meme. Someone's knocking in the outside hatch. Please advise. I did, actually, learn a lot about KOS, but I'm not going to spoil anything. But it has been a most valuable resource. Probably the best KOS resource outside of the KOS manual. And really a fantastic addendum too. Almost home, everyone. I promise. I promise. Almost home. And thunk. Let's bring these back. Retract. Why do I have Kerbal alarm clock open? Have a good night, Luca. Sleep well. Press F3 for G's. Sure, I don't think we even topped 5. 3.9G. Used to watch Cheers, Kevin, and read KOS Reddit a lot to help from there too. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'll say descent mode makes a huge difference. Free camera so as to not irritate people. Stay on target. How much of Blader we got? Plenty. Fantastic. What lap is this? 16. This is lap 2, Pulsey. Jeez, no faith. None whatsoever. You think Bowman was going to actually screw up this bad when the whole world is watching? The answer is yes, he absolutely would. He screwed up real bad the last time the whole world was watching. And really every time everyone has ever watched ever since. He's just that kind of guy. What is more lazy, to fly manually because I don't want to write codes, or to write codes because I don't want to fly manually? I think to write codes is more lazy because you only have to write the code once and you can fly it unlimited times as long as it's relevant. Versus flying it manually because you don't want to write codes. You still have a lot of work to do every single time. The world has probably already forgotten about them. Yes. Also true. They're on like page 3 of the news today. Second crew not nearly as cool as the first. Return to Earth. No one cares. No parades. No ticker tapes. No... You know... They don't get to meet the president. Alright. So, I hope we're coming home this pass. If we start to really dwindle on this rate of descent, we'll do a roll to push him back into the atmosphere, and there it is. Lucy, thank you for the subscription. That's awesome. Yeah, we're on our way back up. So, roll maneuver. I see your game. You were trying to distract me from making this roll so that we'd be taking a third lap. Not today, Lucy. Too much watching. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. And we'll see you next time. Basically, Apollo 12 versus 11. Yep. Or, solve the problem of being second crew on Mars by making the first crew on Phobos. I did the same! So, like, yes, they're the first crew on Phobos. They should get all kinds of recognition. Alright, we're on our way back down. I should roll again, I suppose. 7 kilometers per second at 62 kilometers altitude. Probably not the best idea, but I can imagine that Lee Bowman has had a little bit to drink.
Free dollar hashtag charity.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Tinotin Tube. There's a charity drive going on. For direct relief, 11 more days to show support. Cheer and include hashtag charity to learn more. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all that. That's really cool. Didn't they go to Deimos as well? They did not. I decided I was going to leave Deimos for the next crew, so they could be the first at something. Because otherwise, these three would be stealing all the glory and all the ranking up. Just, we can't have that. Alright, we are definitely coming home. Where are we coming home? That's a good question. Not in the Arctic. Awesome. Alright, well, in the ocean. That's to be expected. You know, they had like a 2 in 3 chance of hitting water, so... Again, third crew will be the Apollo 13. Hey, come on now. Let's not jinx it. Oh, gee. And the third crew's going up on the Perseus on a new launcher that we haven't done anything with yet. And should probably test, and I probably should have done that before I had 3 fingers of whiskey. Flew around Uranus and had a bottle of Hoegaarden. Oh, they're so doomed. Hey, we're going up again. Not that it matters. The chutes are armed, right? I did do that. Here's CCCA. We don't need human rating. Yeah, it's arbitrary. You know, if it's good enough for snacks, it's good enough for Kerbals. So I had the same thing happen at Phobos, where it would shift the orbit around a lot while I was in its SOI. It was not a whole lot of fun to bring the crew back, but thankfully they had just gobs and gobs and gobs of excess Delta V for which they could correct. Gravity on Deimos is so low. Landing is a pain. Takes forever. On the landing legs touchdown, even use RCS or attitude control. It introduces horizontal surface velocity. Crash lower harpoons, we know. Well, that was a fun flight. Proby McProbe face. Alright, I think we've lost roll control, which generally means, yeah, all of our MMH is gone. A lot of airs, or a lot of nitrogen tetroxide, a little bit of N2O. Okay, so we're actually we're right on budget for our thruster consumption. We no longer need roll control, so we can actually deactivate our descent mode. Yeah, whatever. You guys aren't gonna die. They're pretty safe. Sounds like the lander will need the Apollo contact light system. Yeah, just to make sure you're actually landed. I don't know. I was planning on using the Odysseus, the ascent stage from the last Mars landing, also the one that that went to Deimos or Phobos. It went to Phobos. I'm taking that out to Deimos, because it's got like 5 kilometers per second of DV on its own, which should be, by all accounts, more than enough. But we could bring it some harpoons, yes. I feel like harpoons would always not bug out, and would certainly not be an interesting way to accidentally kill some Kerbals, and an interesting way to, never mind, 5 minutes later, all 4 legs on the surface. I mean, unless you're using your RCS to push yourself into the rock. That's why it's good to know your impact tolerances. So we're just in a descendisode, apparently. If I activate, deactivate descent mode. The crew is pushing a big lead ball. Yeah, it's like one of those big yoga balls made of lead. They've used it as an exercise ball for their 5-year stay in orbit of Mars. Ah, drogues! Should probably get out of... Am I in physics warp? No, I'm not. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I really wish these idiots hadn't forgotten all of the surface samples, because I'm going to accidentally research them from the station core, from the research center, which means I can't bring them back. And I would like to do both. Alright, full deploy on the drogues. There go, deploy the primaries. Full deploy on primaries. 5.5 meters per second. Rotate backslash stops all time warp. Oh, so it does. How do I not know these things? Well played, Pulsey. Take Earth surface and return to Mars quick before the carrier arrives. Just take an Earth sample and claim it's from Mars. There is water on Mars, guys. See? See? And 50 meters, 20, 18, kill all time warp. Splashdown. Woohoo! They're safe. Recover vessel. Yes! Not nearly as stressful as the first one. Now that we got the process figured out. We have samples from Mars. Quick, grab those rocks near the bushes. We can't get only the level 2? Really? They all gained 12 XP, which amazes me because Richards didn't set foot off the station at all. Yet she ranked up as much as Nina and Bowman, who both went to the surface of Mars and to the surface of Phobos and collected multiple samples from each. I feel like these two really got screwed out of their promotion. Like, really screwed out of their promotion. And why can't I recover the parts? That's very interesting. I bet you that flight is still itself in the ocean. And possibly sinking. Maybe somebody opened the hatch when they weren't supposed to. Anyway, that's going to do it for part 2 of our 500th episode special. So thank you everyone for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.